It's not off, but it's dim. Let's see what we can figure out. Welcome to Tiafel Garage. You know, one of the things about driving old cars like this 50-year-old Porsche is you never know what's gonna go out or whatever. So took it out for dinner, nice dinner, 50 miles away, and got dark, and then turned on the headlights and realized that one of the headlights is dim. So I'm gonna troubleshoot that. I think it might be just the bulbs, so I'm gonna swap the bulbs and see whether the problem follows the bulbs. If not, I will have to reassess.
Tiafel Garage.
Just to demonstrate the problem here, we'll pop in the key, turn on the headlights, and what we see, you can kind of tell from here, is that the right one is bright and the left one is dim. These two are for adjusting the position, and this one is for removing. A special screw there. Great. We have the back accessible, where we can pop out our bulb. One of these squeeze in type of deals. And we don't want to touch that bulb. Well, a visual comparison of the two doesn't indicate any different look. Now we will swap the left and the right bulbs and see if the problem follows the bulbs. And the problem does not follow the bulbs, so that means there's a more complicated problem. It's been a couple weeks since we last looked at this. We've got the headlight bulbs in. First thing I will do is just kind of get a baseline here of where we are with respect to low beam and high beam with the bulbs in place. We know it's not the bulbs because the problem follows the location, not the bulbs. Lights on low beam, high beam, low beam, high beam flash, pull the flash. Okay, so definitely a clue there. The right-hand side is working as it should. The left-hand side is dim, and not only that, but nothing happens when we pull the high beam, low beam stuff. So I'm thinking maybe there's some kind of a short between the high beam and the low beam wires on the left side. So let's see, the top four fuses here, this one, this one, this one, and this one are the headlights. As we sit here now, I believe the left side switches are working. It is getting power, it's just not getting enough power on the low beam and the high beam. It's definitely a clue that the right side is full blast and the left side is not, and in both the high and the low beam. So the current, it comes in from the switches on the right hand side. There's only one pair of wires, and since the right hand side of the headlights are working at full blast, that would indicate to me that something's up with the wiring from here to the left hand side of the headlights. I think what I'm now going to do is try taking out the high beam fuse on the left side and seeing what happens, and then I'll take out the low beam fuse and also see what happens. So the top one is the high beam left. So now I've put back in the high beam left, and then I've removed the low beam left. Headlights on, got low beam, high beam, headlights off. So with the low beam fuse removed, neither the high beam nor the low beam work. So I'm gonna start writing this down on a piece of paper to try to keep my head straight. So the next thing I've done is I've taken this sensor for where there's current, connected to the ground here, which was the nearest thing I could find, and then checked on the low beam and the high beam. As it turns out, this thing helped me figure it out. The low beam is yellow, the high beam is white. As you can see, it's lit up on the high beam with the ground here. So maybe it's just I have a bad ground. That would be nice. So that's because both left and right are acting the same with this thing connected to the ground that way. So maybe this ground wire, this brown one, lost its ground somewhere. To test the ground theory, I ran the ground, which is the brown wire connected to my alligator clip, over to the best ground on the planet, that braided brass wire. Let's test it. Headlights on, high beam, low beam, headlights off. All right, this is one of those victory moments we love to film. We figured it out, and it's just a bad ground. So, and this is good. I haven't done a lot of electrical, so this is helpful for me to, learn this stuff. So I was able to troubleshoot and find out that it's the ground. The other wires are okay, looks like. So I just need to find a way to make sure that the bulb is grounded well, which is not going to be too hard, I don't think. And I'll be on my way. So it's wonderful news. Glad to be at this point. We've We've got the Porsche up in the lift now. Trying to find a way to get a nice ground. There is a ground here. I don't know if that's the one that's no longer great. So I'm gonna try cleaning that up first and see if that fixes it. And I now have the headlights on. It is looking great. So that was our problem. Let me try high beams. Looking great. We are in business. And here we have it. Both headlights working wonderfully with the low beam and the high beam. I think they've never been so bright. Another Tiafo Garage successful repair. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you enjoy this type of content, please do like, share, and subscribe. It will help the channel, and we will see you next time on Tiafo Garage.